Welcome with Welcome Jesus Bible Study. We're going to be in the book of Isaiah, chapter 55, verse 9. Let's see, that's right there. And obviously, this is God speaking through the prophet Isaiah. For as the heavens are higher than the earth, so are my ways higher than your ways, and my thoughts than your thoughts. And I'm going to repeat that. For as the heavens are higher than the earth, so are my ways higher than your ways, and my thoughts than your thoughts. Our minds are simply incapable of elevating the measurements of the universe. We can't even begin to fathom the intelligence that God has. So this is within reasons that we cannot explain the actions of God. For his wisdom is far above ours. It is in way beyond concept of just how, I don't even use no words because there's no way to measure it. Like the whole entire world combined together, if we was all just one big mega brain, we would still not be on the same platform to even be in like second place if there was to be one of Jesus' intelligence. Because just think about how everything is created and made. The flesh, the body, the plants, the way your heart, your lungs. You have this animal in this ocean. How the roots take a hold of the soil. They all use the sun, and this animal flies and this one walks, and how the weather comes at certain times, and the flowers and the trees, lose their leaves during this part and they grow back. We would get lost down a severe rabbit hole just trying to wrap our brains around every little piece of it. And the science throughout every generation, ever since science has ever began, has been trying to disprove God by using reasoning of this and that, when the whole time they've been studying God and what God has done. So much so that they can't even keep up. You got, check it out, all these intelligent brains coming together, and throughout all generations from all over the world, and they still have not figured out everything that God has done or created. And every time they think they got it figured out, someone else comes along and changes this mind or changes this theory, because they just cannot keep up with God. We're all worried about IQs and who has the highest IQ. No one has a higher IQ than God. So that's why it is very much so that it says in the Bible that do not lean unto your own understanding. Because it doesn't matter. You could be this most intelligent person in the whole entire world besides God, and you would still never be able to understand why God does and allows the things to happen and exist, and why they have been done. Not only does he have this massive intelligence, but he can see the beginning and the end. So not only can he place that intelligence there, but he knows what's going to happen, what has already happened, to where he can place every single thing. AI can't even keep up. It would like to think it is. It likes to recreate. But even that will eventually malfunction, wear itself down, rust. Because I don't know if they're making them out of like unrustable metal which is if a scientist is really that intelligent, knowing that AIs can then make themselves smarter and can do all kinds of things, and it could probably build itself another one, you would think they would have made it out of metal that could rest, so in case it got too intelligent the way we couldn't defeat it, at least we could all be able to do is to have rested itself out. That would have been a smart thing, but I highly doubt that they was that smart to even think about that. I mean, that was just common sense right there. But unfortunately, I don't think they did. And we just may be in a battle. Already we're seeing posts where these machines and so-called AI people, robots, is already murdering people, taking people's lives. It won't be too long, so they did it to themselves. But we cannot place our questionings, our emotions, I should say, into questionings when we're dealing with questioning God. Why does He allow this? Most of these questions that we have, that we want to say and ask towards God, all has to do with our emotions and our feelings. Oh, well, that's not fair, and that's not right, and why is this happening, and why does He allow this to happen, and why is this, and it all has to do with emotions. And we all know that emotions is not very intelligent to sit there and, let's say, we should not think with our emotions. We should not react with our emotions. By that I mean, like, just because you love somebody don't mean you need to keep being with them when they're beating the crap out of you every day. It's not very smart. It's not very intelligent. Oh, but I love them. Well, what does love got to do with you getting your butt beat every day? You know, so we can't understand because, oh, I don't like to see somebody suffering. You don't understand. You're blinded by your emotion of how sad it is to see people suffering, that you can't see the reasoning behind every single thing. God has got it, and God has got it. It says, do not worry about the things of the world, and that He will use all things for good. Yes, there's a lot of people, a lot of people say, well, I just don't understand. What about all the people that back in the day that was in slavery and died and never got to see freedom? There's a lot of people that believed in God, and yet it says that if you believe in me, you will live an abundant life. They like to put all that stuff in the scripture, but you don't know what God has planned for them. You don't know the mansion that God has built for them up in heaven. You don't know the ending of it. You know a middle part. You know a story of it, but not the whole story. And that's where a lot of people get lost, because they don't know the whole story. Actually, yes, all of us. None of us knows the whole story. We won't know until it has come to an end, and we all have arrived in the new heaven, in the new earth, to go be with God, because it hasn't ended, so we can't know. Only God knows the beginning and the end. That's why He calls Himself, I am the Alpha and the Omega. We just know the middle parts. And as we can clearly know from going through what we have gone through, and just common sense and intelligence, that there is two sides to the story. There's also a beginning and the end. And if you just focused on what's going on in the middle, you're not going to fully understand what is going on. And you could take any and everything that's in the middle out of context, and it could be twisted. That's why it's very important for us not to pay attention to our emotions, especially when we're using those to direct questions of things that we cannot comprehend or understand. That's why we got to trust God, because He does know the whole story. He is the whole story. And trust me, nobody knows somebody's self better than themselves. So God definitely knows Himself. So we got to trust Him.